Now, I think there's no question about it that when we look at companies out there like Disney and Lucasfilm, they by far are the most incompetent companies in the Hollywood bubble, and exactly how Bob Iger and the Disney board just don't understand the overall fandoms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Star Wars franchise, and yes, even, of course, the Indiana Jones franchise, which, by the way, is a major Lucasfilm property that was mishandled by Kathleen Kennedy with Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into exactly what's going on here with the Indy 5 director and creator of Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, James Mangold. Now, there's a lot of problems arising over at Lucasfilm and Disney because of what's been going on with Lucasfilm essentially falling into this big financial trouble with Indiana Jones 5. Now, this is all due in part to Kathleen Kennedy. She is the one that literally requested an extra $100 million in funding to make Indy 5 possible by Disney. And that's when it goes to show you that they really should not have given her that amount to make a movie like this, because when you see this movie, by the way, guys, it doesn't really feel at many portions of the film that it is anywhere near close to it being worth $300 million. It just doesn't feel that way. There's a lot of undone CGI sequences, there's a lot of green screen moments that you can really tell are very prominent and very much obvious. But moving onwards from all of this, what's really intriguing and very eye-popping has a lot to do with what's going on behind closed doors at Disney. Now, right now, the Disney board and Bob Iger are currently in a very big shakeup as they begin to make some big decisions for the future of Disney after the failure of Indy 5, Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, and Elemental. Now, one major development surrounds creators James Mangold himself, who created Indy 5 under Kathleen Kennedy. The plan that is now moving forward is that the majority of the board want nothing to do with Mangold to become a part of Star Wars moving forward for his Star Wars movie Dawn of the Jedi after what happened with Indy 5 and its box office collapse. Now, with Disney now trying to save its reputation, Mangold, who is slated to write and direct his own Star Wars film that will focus on completely reinventing the Jedi and the Jedi Order, is now beginning to get phased out, with Disney trying to find a proper way to announce his firing in the near future from this project. The plan right now by the board is that they feel no confidence in James Mangold taking the helm of a Star Wars movie and costing them millions of dollars, again, similar to what has already happened with Indy 5. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about this, is that we know that this is a real unnecessary project. I mean, it had potential because this was an original idea that was actually in the cards years ago, and it was a strict idea that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to do at one point in time, where she wanted to basically go backwards, but she never really specified it was going to be about the dawn of the Jedi or anything like that. So when we look at people like James Mangold, I don't believe he is very much a good option right now for Star Wars, and especially not for Lucasfilm after what happened with Indy 5. You know, maybe if this movie was a very well-made movie from start to finish, and maybe if it really made all the money in the world, he would be in a very good position for, you know, what's going on with this Dawn of the Jedi film. But right now, the Disney board want him out. They want to find a way to announce his firing easily and as much in a more proper way as possible for the fans to understand that. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't think fans, especially Star Wars fans, are going to be surprised by this, and there's multiple reasons. There have been countless firings, cancellations, changes of plans for the entire Star Wars roadmap since, 2017? Ever since they were announcing Rian Johnson's new trilogy, and all these different movies and all these different trilogies, like as the Game of Thrones creators and their trilogy that fell apart. So many different things that were supposed to become a very big thing under Kathleen Kennedy's wing and over at Disney never came out to be. And that just goes to show you that when we see people out there like James Mangold, who, by the way, is no saint. I mean, he has gone on Twitter called people man babies, basement dwellers, you know, stuff like that about not liking Indiana Jones 5 or not expecting it to be a good movie or how it's not going to focus on the Indiana that we all grew up and loved with. But when we look up stuff like this, alright, when we have a lot of things going on with the board right now trying to fix their way with the Disney, of course, you know, reputation that's being tarnished by Bob Iger, that's why they want him out. Alright, so moving past all of that further, at no surprise, Kathleen Kennedy is defending Mangold, trying to keep him attached to the project that is going to be yet another big budget Star Wars film. Disney wanted to actually double down on this project since it's from a brand new era before everything from Legends and canon material. Mangold is described to be frustrated with Disney's discussions about his firing that is being planned out right now by the Disney board as they recently found a more highly reliable creator to take on the role as both director and writer of the film, that is going to be around a similar budget to that of The Rise of Skywalker. Now get this, which would be around the range of $400 million. This is why Disney wants nothing to do with Mangold and doesn't want to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Now look, I got nothing personal against James Mangold, but he is not fit for Star Wars in my opinion, and that's my opinion. And I think that if anything, if Disney has to make any kind of right call right now, it is this, to get rid of James Mangold, get somebody else on board of the Star Wars film that is properly fit. Now, do I think that Disney's going to be able to do that? That's all highly dependent on where their mindset is at right now. Are they going to be very genuine with the fans? Do they want to make a good Star Wars film? Or do they just want to have this movie kind of be yet another divisive movie that's going to divide a fan base, right? So anyways, we know that there's a lot of things going on with Indy 5 right now and how it's creating a ripple effect over at Lucasfilm. It's creating a very big change of plans with their roadmap of not just Star Wars, but also for, surprisingly, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They want to dial back a little bit, no pun intended, on their budgeting for some of the upcoming films and TV shows, whether it be Star Wars shows or Marvel shows. They want to really kind of lower that range of how much it costs to make each and every episode. And they're going to find strategies to do so, either by making the stories more small scale based, or if it's going to require less CG or anything like that. They are looking at multiple options on how to lower the budgets of all these upcoming Marvel and Star Wars shows. And that's not good news in my opinion, because that goes to show you that it may come across as a very cheap, rushed project or projects if they go through with this entire plan. So overall, I think that this whole Mangold situation is getting really bad. It's giving Disney an even worse image, if anything, because it's showing them a real huge inconsistency on their part, and it's really kind of creating an effect where fans are just expecting pretty much the worst every single time, and it actually comes out to be the truth. You know, we've seen this vicious cycle repeat itself constantly. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on one. From night to moon, we hear